We're back.
Yes, we are.
Back today with something edible.
And almost ornamental.
Funnily enough, from Edible Ornamentals. Pure heat!
Says it all, doesn't it?
Scary. How hot? Apparently all the hots.
Very nearly all the hots. It's not quite.
Four out of ouch, apparently, on this one. Yeah, so we were there a little while back now.
Back in the summer, wasn't it? July?
Do you remember when we were allowed to be free-range humans?
Briefly. Well, we were, well...
In the gap between being battery humans.
Yes. Is that the kind of Lockdown 1 and Lockdown 2 little brief?
The sequel's never as good as
It's
the
not,
original,
is it?
No.
Yeah.
So
Lockdown 3 is awful.
we went down there and we had, you know, all distanced socially, and because nobody likes me. So yeah. But we went down there and we had a little tour of the Chilli Ranch.
We did with our friends, our Nuke family.
She's wrecked it now, but we had a little tour of the Chilli Ranch.co.uk.
You're so unpredictable.
Yeah, it was a great day, it really was. Obviously really nice to see actual flesh and blood people, not flat panel screen people, like we are now. Hi. And we picked up some products, and this was one of the ones we picked up while we were there.
We had a little try this one. I think it was one of the ones because Sean gave us a little tour of all of the polytunnels and it showed us all the chilies, and Joe was there doing some tasting with us, some product tasting, and this was one of their products that was out for trying, and we liked it and we buyed it. So now we're going to review it.
Bought it. So, yeah.
So ingredients on this then. So chilies 59%. Hence the name, pure heat, right? That's quite a lot of chilies. It's not specific about the types of chilies, but we know that they grow quite a substantial amount, and I'm guessing these are going to be some of the hotter end. I know they do the Dorset Nagers, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
So they may feature in here. But I think it's a little bit of a mix. But it's malt vinegar, onions, sugar, garlic and salt. So again, simple ingredients list.
Pretty simple. Pretty simple, but...
Lots of goodies floating around in there as
simple
well.
Can be really good. You know? If you put the right ingredients together... Oh, hello. Oh, I lost it at a point. There we go. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can only give that lid 7.5 out of 10, I'm afraid. It fought just a little bit too hard. Didn't have to resort to getting a crane out to open it like we did the other day, but...
that is absolutely chock full of goodies, isn't it?
It is. It's quite fluidy.
Yeah.
As a kind of condiment goes. So I can't tip the jar too much. What I can do, I'm going to give it a little bit of a turn over with the spoon. I don't think it's settled, but let's be fair, it's been on the shelf a little while.
I prepared my serving area as well, so I don't spill stuff.
But
in my excitement.
You can see it there. There you go.
It's almost like a loose salsa texture.
It is, yeah. And I remember from trying this that I was sitting there thinking, do you know what? If you weren't adding any other moisture, you could put that directly into a burger. You know, that was my go-to thought. I was hungry. But it was my go-to thought was, yeah, a little bit of that in a burger.
Like a relish.
Actually in the mince.
Into the mince. Oh, okay.
Actually into the mince itself. Because, some people use egg and stuff to bind.
Mm-hmm.
I'd use a little bit of flour, I think. Or maybe some breadcrumb. And, something like this to add the flavour. Because I've made them before with horseradish, haven't I? And,
you have.
And they've been really horseradishy. And, of course, horseradish is quite wet. So if you do the right kind of...
that almost smells roasted, doesn't it? Like a roasted jalapeno.
If you do the right kind of proportions with stuff, you can get away with using something that's loose like this.
So yeah, it is like a loose salsa, but instead of having the tomato, it's all bits of chili, isn't it? But it almost smells a little bit like cowboy candies.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Right. Give it a go.
Cheers.
I can see where you're going now with that. It's so fresh tasting. But it is very much like if you took the tomato out of a salsa and just kind of upped the pepper. It's got that right kind of consistency. Beautiful flavour. It's got a real punch of heat. From my mouthfeel, I suspect there's some habanero in there because I've got the tingles on the flat of the tongue, but I've got the warmth in the throat as well. So I think there's a little bit of ghost is lurking in there. I've got a feeling probably some jalapeno, but I would say they are the fully ripe reds. I'm just trying to think what they were growing with. They were growing with Fresno, isn't it? Which is slightly hotter than jalapeno type.
I've slept since then. But yeah, they had a variety of pods down there. I think the only condition for chilies going into this is they have to be red. So any of the red ones they were growing. Yeah.
Not saying that, there's some slightly lighter colours in there. But it's maybe some sort of yellows or some orange in there. But it's got that kind of that salsa tang. It's got like the garlic and the onion flavour going through there. That, you know, if you were looking for a more pepper forward alternative to salsa, that would be incredible. I think throw that into a stir fry as well, just to add a little bit of fresh heat to it. It's got enough sweetness, enough tartness to it to do really well for that. But talk to me about your burger idea.
So, 250 grams of mince. Okay. Work with me here. You want it... I mean...
I get to eat while you talk.
Good burger mince is 80-20. Okay, 80 meat, 20% fat. That's good burger mince. I would go a little leaner on this.
Sorry.
I would probably go 10% fat. Reason for that is because you're adding moisture. I would put probably a good dessert spoon of that into a bowl with the mince. I would then put either a couple of teaspoons of flour, okay, just to give it something to absorb a little bit of the moisture, or maybe a teaspoon or two of breadcrumbs. Okay, work it, punch it like it stole your lunch money. Form your patties, grill them in a bun, lightly toasted. Serve with, I don't know, maybe a little bit of mayo, if you're into the kind of thing like ranch dressing. Maybe you put a little bit of that on there.
I think full leaf.
Maybe you just put some more of that on there.
Yeah.
You know.
Full leaf lettuce and onion, like rings of raw onion.
Fresh sliced raw onion on there.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually got a bit
It's got a beautiful pepper flavour to it. Is it pure heat? It's got heat to it.
Yeah, it has. And if you're a non-chilli head, you'd certainly know about it.
But you could use that, like you said, like you would do any kind of salsa. You could whack it on a steak, in a burger. You could, if you're sitting there with your tofu burger or whatever the vegetarians eat, you could whack some of that on there just to liven it up. Actually give it some flavour.
Great with some onion rings. Dip some onion rings into it, I think.
Dips for chips. If you're sitting there with your tortilla chips, you could easily do half a jar of that in one sitting. You could quite happily sit there, like you say, with a kind of salsa approach to it, whack it over tacos, whack it over quesadilla, whack it over
fajitas,
burrito, fajita, whatever. If it comes from Mexico, you can put that on it, including the desserts. So
even into like a spaghetti bolognese or something like that would actually just add a really nice depth to it.
It's a really flexible,
it is
flexible condiment stroke ingredient. So yeah, I can see that being used widely in the kitchen.
Probably mostly by me in a bowl of tortilla chips though.
Heat for you?
Surprisingly for me, I'm actually going to say, after going back for a second go, I would probably put that at a 2.5 for me.
Probably a 2, maybe a 3 after a little bit for me.
So, you know, it is spicy.
I did only have one spoon though.
It is spicy, and you know, there's definitely, it's not got a super hot flavour to it, but there's definitely,
which is a good thing,
some of the but there's definitely some of that heat kind of lurking in there, even if it's a very small percentage of that 59%. But yeah, you can tell there's a lot of pepper in there. Yeah,
it might only have like single digit, 2 or 3% of like ghost or whatever in there, and then everything else is a bit milder.
It's good.
It's enough to let you know it's there.
Absolutely.
Probably not for complete beginners, but if you've shaken a bit of Tabasco on some stuff in your life before you get to that jar, you'll be fine. Honestly, it'll be hot for you, but you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, chilliranch.co.uk, link down there. Make sure you go and show them some love. They've got a whole range of their own products, and they also carry some other producers' lines as well.
Indeed.
It's quite a good shop, actually, if you're anywhere near it. When they're open and trading, I don't know whether they are at the moment, but they'll certainly take online orders. But yeah, if you're in the environs, definitely worth a visit. Definitely worth a visit, and get on a chili tour as well if you can. You'll love it.
Absolutely.
So, I'm going to be flash now. I'm going to try and do this, and it's not working because everything's mirrored. Just about here is our logo. Hit that if you're not subscribed. Just up here is a video that YouTube really wants you to watch. Really does. Listen to the Google. But I think that's enough from us for now.
Indeed.
Thank you ever so much for watching.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Take care.
And we'll see you in the next one.